Hello, so just going to do the review, the video presentation on my final project. So what I'm starting with here first is my lesson plan template that I use actually in my school currently, and what I use to base this unit on for this final project. So this just has all the essentials of what you need to and what I do go over just to create that lesson. So I got the essential guiding question, I got all my standards up there, the learning objectives, stuff about the class, the student data, vocab that's going to be taught, the text and sources, the introduction, and the direct instruction pretty much of everything that I will say throughout the lesson, bullet pointed questions, the writing, assessments for the students, and then I got a closure and then modifications for diverse learners. So if I ever need to change anything throughout the lesson. So let's go down to this now. All right, so this is my final project right here. So just to start with the intro, a little overview. So I'm using Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a technology that you can use through Google. Very, very popular. I believe it's very important um, for people to actually understand what it is. I use this a lot. I at first had no clue some of these advancements and options that was available until I started using this um, for this project. So it's pretty amazing to grow with this project. And then I'm using it based off of using a flipped classroom method because flipped classroom is very popular now as well, which is pretty much you are giving a lot of the schoolwork to bring it home, and then you do that homework at the school. So it's a lot of fun to actually be more active, more hands-on learning instead of just having the kids stare at PowerPoints and stuff like that. So it makes it a little more interesting. So I'm going to go back real quick to the website, to Google. So you go right here. The way to get to it is that waffle. Click that. Go to Classroom. My class is right here. So if you go down here, this is all information I have that's in the stream. So it's a lot of information um, that I actually placed into my project. So I'm scrolling through. Up here is where my articles were utilized, where I explained why I use them, what they have to do with this project. So I tried to make it a little more phys ed based too, because a lot of people think that with phys ed you cannot do a flipped classroom or do any technology implemented, but it is definitely great to utilize at home and to try to get the kids to actually go home and do exercises and be active on a daily basis other than every other day for the week, because it's definitely not enough. And then also just more about Google Classroom and how it's an emerging technology and how it should be utilized. I'm going through, just like in my lesson plan, I got the learning goals and objectives of what I am looking to get and what I want the project to really do throughout this whole process. Got my standards that are going to be utilized. Those are the health education standards for New York State. And then took screenshots. So these are the screenshots of what I just showed you on the Google Classroom. I started off with more of a phys ed post with his video on the 5 musts to sustain exercise. I really just want for this project for the students just to watch it and then pretty much come to class for discussion. So it's only 14 minutes. It's quick. Do that, discuss it. Right over here, then I would want them to look at the PowerPoint that I have ready, health and wellness, go through that, review it, have any questions, jot them down, and then come to class and we'll discuss it more on the PowerPoint that next day. Then I would have them start the project. With that project, I want them to create a video and a PowerPoint describing health and wellness, what it means to them in their own words. I want them to add pictures, and also, like I said, with that slideshow, type it out, do something like what we do on a weekly basis for this class. So I feel like it helped me a lot. Also, I have questions, quizzes, polls, just to decide what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, and if just to test their knowledge. Then the last thing would have been the summative assessment. With the summative assessment, it's just a multiple choice test. about health and wellness. They go through it, answer the questions. This is just some examples, and then they go through that and they'll be good to go. So I'm going to go back now to the classroom. So just like we just talked about, I showed you the screenshots. This is all the information. I have a rubric too, just for the project for grading wise, just so they could see how I will be grading it, and how most health rubrics are graded. And this is all information here in the stream. Then the classwork part, these are the two questions I showed you. People and grades are up there. So it's very, very simple. I could add a Google Calendar to see when all the due dates are, but they could also see it right there. The reason I did this project and I chose Google Classroom is really because of the affordability factor and how it is so popular in my school and in many schools around. So it is a great option. It was a great project to do. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, it was a great way to end this semester.